Sorry, we will get started in about 5 minutes. All right, so we are doing Pokemon today. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Cool, thank you. All right, so we're doing Pokemon. So we are, you can go to get the what's it called, the write-up. I did not get a chance to finish it, but we will get there. Let's see. Friday Night Labs. If you like seeing instructions, and the password is I'm going to type into the chat window in case you do not know it. There we go. Okay. So you can log into the website and get the write-up for this. Josh is out this week, so we are hanging out and we're playing Pokemon because I'm a big kid. All right, so it's this last document here, Try Hack Me Pokemon. And in the Try Hack Me room, we're going to learn all rooms, free, capture the flag challenges. I feel like this is on like, let's see. Called Catch 'em All. Let's see. It is a web. Oh, I could just type Pokemon here. And it's not letting me type. Does anyone know what page it's on? It's called Catch 'em All.
Looking.
know why she's not responding to me. Okay, here we go. So if you can, if your search bar will let you search, you can just type in catch them all and then select that one and then join that room. So we're going to start the attack box and then deploy the machine to get started. How did you guys get in here? So did you use the link in Meetup or did you use the link in Slack channel?
I use one on Slack. Yeah.
Slack.
Okay. Give me 1 second. I'm sorry. I guess there's a different link on. Give me 1 more minute. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Give me like 5 more minutes, guys. All right. So hopefully you guys were able to get the catch 'em all, gotta catch 'em all up and running. Let me know if that's not true. Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Okay. All right. So if you've got the box running, our goal is to try to catch them all. So once you get your terminal open, the first thing we're going to do is we're going to scan the machine and see what's open. So you can launch your terminal window. And again, these instructions are in the PDF document on the blackgirlshack.org website. All right, so you can get your terminal to launch. I don't know why nothing is working today. Then we're going to do an nmap scan on the machine IP. So the IP address is the IP address that's here underneath this red banner. It's not the same IP address that I have on my screen. So you want to say nmap, and we don't care whether this is speedy or stealth. So we're just going to do -A and then the IP address of the victim machine. All right, so while that's running, I'm going to go and see if I can try to help the other people who are trying to get in here. Get in here. Hey, Grace, how did you get in? Grace?
Hey.
Hey, how did you get in?
Oh, I just clicked on a link in the, I think I already signed up. This is reoccurring, so I think it is already on my event calendar.
Okay.
Yeah. I signed up for the capture the flag for the socks challenge as well.
Okay, cool. Give me one more minute, guys. I'm sorry. All right, let me just find my game, and then we can come back. All right. So, all right. So your InMap scan should have completed by now. We are doing the gotta catch 'em all room on TryHackMe, and we just did the InMap scan. The walkthrough document is on the website, and so you just should have finished your InMap scan. Is that where everyone is at right now, or is anyone who has any questions? I apologize for the delay.
Oh, I'm still getting in. I'm trying to get in.
Okay. All right, so once you get in, we're going to do the InMap scan, and then it tells us that there are two things that are open up on this particular machine. There is what's it called? There's on port 22, there is a SSH server, and then on port 80, there is an HTTP server. Okay, so knowing that, we're going to go to take a look at the HTTP server to be able to see what's going on. All right, so you're going to put your IP address, not my IP address, in here. So mine is 10.10.191.57, I think. Is that what it was? Oh yeah, 191.157. So I'm going to put that into the web browser and see what comes up. So if you're just joining us, if you look on the blackgirlshack.org website, you can get the, sorry, what's not true?
No, I wasn't able to get in, but that's okay. I'll just go back to the website like you just said and just play catch up from there.
Oh, okay. It's not true that you're not ready, or what were you saying? I'm sorry.
So pretty much, yeah. It was not true that I was ready, but that's okay. I'll just go.
Okay. So I'm going to wait for the people to catch up, because a couple people just came in as well. So if you did just come in, you can get the write-up so that you can figure out the steps to get to where we're at now. It's on the blackgirlshack.org/Friday Night Labs. I put the password into the chat window.
Ready.
So you can download the, I'm sorry, go ahead.
Yeah.
Okay. So you can download the document here, and then it'll give you the steps that we're doing. So we just completed. I'm sorry? You keep coming in and out, sir. So if you're trying to talk to me, it keeps coming off. All right, so we're going to do the InMap scan on the machine. So your IP address should be here. So could everyone just raise your hand if you have your IP address and you're ready to go? And if not, let me unmute and let me know what the problem is. All right, I see one hand up. What about, I see 2 hands up. What about everyone else? 3. Or if you don't know how to raise your hand, you can type in the chat window and just tell me that you're not ready yet. Okay. All right. So we're going to, if you've already done your IP scan, your InMap scan, you can open up, you can go ahead and bring up the web browser so we can see what's on there. If not, then you want to do the InMap scan. And the InMap scan is just InMap and then -A and then the IP address that shows right here under your active machine. And once you complete the InMap scan, you'll see that there's 2 things that are up on the device on this web server. So the 2 things are an SSH server, which is typically used for logins. And then you'll also see a web server, which is how we get to this Apache website here. So this doesn't look like it's been configured, which makes me think that it might be, a default configuration. So let's take a look around and see. There's nothing on this front page here, but one of the first things that I typically do when I get into a web browser, a website, is I'll right click and say view page source just to see if there's anything in here that's interesting. Okay. So we're going to just take a look in here and see if there's anything that appears off. So one of the things that you could do is do a search. So Control F in here to see if there's any passwords or usernames, see if they have anything hard coded in here. But if we just scroll to the bottom, you'll see that there is a what appears to be a username and password. So you'll see that the username is Pokemon and this is the password. So you're going to want to write that down into a notepad somewhere. You could put it over here if you wanted to. And it's just going to be, that's the username and is the password. Okay. And it says, hey, check the console for extra surprise. So that would have been my next step anyway, but it's giving us a hint that that's where we need to look. Okay. So you could probably just get away with just copying the password and then putting this back in here. If you're not sure how to put this over here so that you have like a full screen, you can just hit this bottom thing right here, and then it either collapses or sends it in the full screen. So I have the attack machine going over here on the right, and then you launch the attack machine at the top here, where it says options. There would normally be a thing that says launch the machine. So, and you can see that in the instructions if you are behind. All right, so we have the username, we have the password. So we're going to log into the console as it's suggested to see what's going on. So we're going to SSH because that's the other service that's open on this machine. So we're going to say SSH and we're going to log in with Pokemon because that's the username it gave us. And this is going to be at the website that you just scanned. So mine is 10.10.191.57. Yours might be something different. Okay. So when you do that, it'll say, are you sure that you want to continue? So you'll say yes. And then you're going to just right click and say paste. Right click in the terminal and say paste the password that you just got put off the clipboard. If you don't have it off the clipboard, then you can copy it and put it back on the clipboard and then just press enter. So when you do that, it should log us in as the Pokemon. So okay, I'm just going to type it in. And hack the hopefully I didn't type it wrong again. All right, so it let us in here. So is everyone, you have to type it in without, like, see how it is here? Hack underscore the underscore Pokemon without the brackets. So if it's getting extra spaces in there, then you can just type it in there by hand instead of copying and pasting it. But it's just, as you can see here, hack underscore the underscore and then Pokemon. All right, so can I get some hands raised about if everyone is where I'm at currently? Or let me know if you're not.
I am not. For
right.
to go into SSH server, what is the command I put behind it? To pull up my sheet.
It's SSH. I'm going to type it just here. It's SSH, and then it's going to be the username. So in this case, it's Pokemon at and then the IP address of your machine. So my machine is 10.10.191.57. Yours may be something different, but it'll be on this left page here. So underneath where it says active machines, this is your IP address for your victim machine. So it may not be the same as mine. So SSH Pokemon at the IP address, and then press enter, and then you're going to put in the password that we got off of the HTML from the website. All right, MF is ready to go. How is everyone else? Any questions about what went so far or why we're doing what we've done so far? No? Okay. I don't hear anything, so I will keep.
I did have a question. I was wondering where the guide is. The
okay. Yeah, so the instructions are on blackgirlshack.org / Friday Night Labs.
Okay.
And then I will paste the password here.
Thank you.
So it's the last document on the bottom, and it says Pokemon.
Okay, got it. Thank you.
No problem. All right, everyone else, are you ready to make moves? Do you see why we're doing what we're doing so far? Feel free to type in the chat window if you're not comfortable saying something aloud. All right, so we're going to get moving. Once you've logged in with SSH, you should be logged in as Pokemon. If you want to confirm to see what it says, Pokemon, you can say who am I? So that tells you who it is logged in. So in this case, it says logged in Pokemon. Okay. So the first thing we're going to do is to say some instructions. Audio is breaking up. Oh, give me 1 second. All right. How about now? Can you hear me? All good?
Yeah, better.
Okay. Thank you. All right, let me know if you start having issues again. All right, so we're logged in here as Pokemon, and we just figured that out just based off of the username and password that is in here. Okay, so the first thing you want to do when you get into a system that you're not familiar with is say ls. So ls is just the list structure, and it tells you what's in the folders. Okay, so we see that there's a desktop, documents, downloads. This is pretty standard stuff for a Linux machine. And so we're going to take a look on the desktop and the documents and the downloads first, and then we're going to do a search. So I just want to show you just how to traverse in Linux, just in case you're not familiar or comfortable with that. And then I'll show you a quick way to be able to see what's in these folders, okay? So we're going to say CD into the desktop. And then you say ls, and you can see that it changed to show us that we were in the desktop because it says here /desktop, okay? So it tells us there's a Pokemon zip file, all right? So we want to kind of see what is in that zip file. So we're going to unzip it. So in Linux, that's just basically unzip, which is a standard utility on Kali machines. And then we're going to say, you can just type in the letter P and then press tab, and it will complete the rest for you because there's no other options. Okay. So when we do that, it's going to unzip the file, and it told us that it created a file called grass-type.txt, but we will find that out in a second when we say ls again. And it tells us that there are two files in here. There's a Pokemon folder and a zip file, okay? So we're going to say CD capital P and press the tab key. And that's going to put us into the Pokemon folder. And we're going to say ls again to see what's in here. And we see that there's a grass-type.txt file, okay? So I did not mention this, but if you happen to look at it when we logged in, there are, I think, 4 or 5 questions in here. The first one wants us to find the grass type Pokemon, okay? So in this case, we see a folder called grass type. So we're going to open that file up. So this is a text file. So if you wanted to open up a text file in a Linux machine, you can say just cat. That'll just display it right there on the screen. Cat, I think, is the short for concatenate. So you can say cat and then grass and then just tab, and it will complete it out for you. And when we do that, we see a whole bunch of letters and numbers that appear to be, I know from looking at this that this is hex, but to you, they probably just look like a whole bunch of letters and numbers, okay? So what we're going to do is we're going to create a new file. So I'm just going to call it grass. So you're going to say touch grass.txt, and this is going to create a file called grass.txt in the folder that we did. And the reason why we did that is that we're going to put all of the contents in the grass type text into that folder, okay? So what you can do is you can say echo grass, then dash type.txt, and then we're going to say forward arrow into grass.txt. And what this should do for us is it should put the contents of the grass-type.txt into the grass.txt file. So we're going to say cat grass.txt just to confirm. And hopefully if it actually put the entire folder in there. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're just going to copy from the 7D over. Just copy this hex here up to the 7D. And you can right click and say copy. And then you can say echo space and then right click and paste it. And then you're going to say space and then the caret or arrow and then grass.txt. Hopefully if we cat grass.txt now, it displays the content of the file. But we also still have that grass.type.txt in there, so we need to delete that first line. So what we're going to do is say vi grass.txt, and then just put dd. Just put the letter D twice, and it'll delete the first line. And then you can say escape. Then you can say escape. It doesn't like my escape. Escape :WQ, and that saves the file. So if we just say cat grass.txt, it'll just show us the hex. All right, so I realized that was probably kind of confusing because I put the whole text file in there. Any questions about how to get rid of the grass.txt so that we just have these letters and numbers in here? No? Okay. All right, so you should have the letters and numbers in your file. If you do not want to say anything, you can just make a new file that has another name. The name is not important. So you can just say echo and then copy those numbers into a new file, and then you don't have to worry about deleting in the other file. But it's just pressing the letter D twice gets rid of the a line in Vim. All right, so now that we have this, we're going to put in a command to decode this. So this is hex, and I'm going to copy and paste the command into the chat window. So in this case, we're going to say cat grass.txt, and then we're going to use a tool called XXD. So we're going to say cat grass.txt. So what cat grass.txt is going to just display the characters on the screen for us. And then we're going to do a pipe, and then we're going to say xxd-r-p. And what this is going to do is it's going to give us the decoding of those characters. So in this case, we see that it is Pokemon Bulbasaur. Okay, so you can copy this from the screen, and this should be the answer to the next question. And then we're going to right click and copy this. And then you have to put it into the clipboard. And then you can click this bottom button here to close this back up, and we can put it in here. So this is the grass type Pokemon. So when we submit, if we are correct, it should say whoop whoop to let us know that we are correct. All right, so any questions so far about how we got to where we're at? No?
Tanisha, what this XXD does?
I'm sorry?
This command, pipe after pipe, we have XXD, right? What does it do?
Oh, the XXD is a it turns what is it called? It decrypts the hex code. So in this case, this 506F4B, it turns that into the letters that it represents. So in this case, it just represents the Pokemon. So this is the equivalent of we talked about a couple of weeks back about doing like command line decryption. So this was base 64, we would say pipe and then base 64-D to decode it. So this is just the way that you decode something that is in hex. XDD, give me 1 second to take a look and see. I wasn't expecting that one. XDD.
Is it XXD or XDD?
Oh, you're right. It's XXD.
Perfect. Thank you.
It's a Linux command that creates a hex dump of a given file or standard input. So it also can convert the hex dump back to its original form. So that's what we're doing is we're turning it back into, instead of binary, we're turning it back into ASCII. So that's what the flags are. But XXD is a command line tool that converts hex to and from some other encoding. So does that answer your question?
Yep, thank you.
Okay. Any other questions? I'm going to close this because this is probably because they are not connected. All right, so we have our password. And so now we're going to do a search. Okay, so we have the first Pokemon, but there are 2 other types of Pokemon that are in the system. So those Pokemon are in the other folders. Okay, so what we're going to do is say clear to go back to the beginning, and we're on the desktop. So we're going to say cd-home. And I just want to go back to the Pokemon's home. So this is actually, let's see what's in this folder. I think I wanted to go back to root, but let's see, cat roots. Okay, so this is owned by someone else. Let's see who it's owned by. This is owned by Ash. Okay. So we don't have Ash's information yet. So, but we want to do a search to figure out what else is going on in this folder. So we're going to do an ls command. So ls is just going to, like I told you before, list the structure, but we're going to do it a little bit differently this time. We're going to do it so that it tells us everything that is in the folder. Okay. So we're going to say ls and there's dash a dash l a. I think it's, this is why you don't get old, guys. H. H, and then we're going to say star. So what this is going to do for us is it's going to tell us what else is on in these folders. Okay. So in this case, there's a bunch of files in here that are owned by Pokemon, and there's some that are owned by root. And let's see what else is in here. And it cannot open Ash because that's not theirs. And what else? All right, so we should be doing this from the user at root. Okay, so this does not, let me clear the screen and try this again. And also these instructions are in that document that I sent you guys. So we're going to do this, and it says sudo as admin is successful, and it tells us that as far as our user Pokemon is concerned, that he doesn't have anything that's interesting in here. There's a videos file. Let's see what else. Template. These, I think these are the other folders that we saw in here. So let's take a look at some of these folders. And if you are following along on the document, we are we already did this. XSD, we did that. Pokemon. Oh, okay. So we want to do ls-lah star. And I want us to go out of here, out of the home. So let's do ... and then we're going to do that ls again. Let's see what we get. Okay, so this tells us that in the var folder, there doesn't appear to be anything interesting. Let me just make this bigger so that you can see the whole thing. All right, there is a lot of information in here, but it's mostly owned by Pokemon and Root. All right, so let's do a sudo dash sudo su just to see if we can, it'll let us go in. And this is hack the typed that wrong. Okay, so Pokemon is not in the sudoers files. This incident will be reported. That is fine. All right, let me see what's next up in here. All right, so ls. All right, so we're going to go back to the /home. And Pokemon. ls. All right, and then we wanted to check the other folders. So let's check downloads, CD downloads. Nothing in there. So we're going to cd ... and that's going to take us back one directory. And let's check the videos because I saw that in something earlier. And ls, and there's a folder in here called gotta. Okay, so let's see what's in here. So we're going to say cd gotta. And that tells us, oh, there's a one that called catch. So we're going to just cd into all of these folders until we get to the bottom of this rabbit hole. Gotta catch them. So when we get to the bottom of the rabbit hole, we see, could this be what I'm looking for? .c, whatever that is. So we're going to just say cat to display what's in this file. And when we do that, it shows us the username and password for Ash. So Ash is the person who owned that other file that we saw back in the home directory. So let's write this down somewhere. So this is Ash and this is Pika Pika. All right, so we're going to try to log in there as Ash. So we're going to say su Ash. And then it wants the password, it should. And then we're going to type in Pika Pika. And hopefully this works. Permission denied. Oh, wait, it says permission denied, but we're in here as Ash. So if you say, who am I? It says we're in here as Ash, okay? So this is perfect. So now that we're in here as Ash, we know that he owns this roots-pokemon.txt file that was up here that we saw in the home directory. So we're going to go back to the home directory and we're going to say cd/home. And if you don't remember like these things, you can make sure that you take good notes as you're finding things so that if you have to go back to them later, then it'll make sense in the context of what you're doing, okay? So when we do that and we go in here and we say ls, we see that there's this roots Pokemon file in here. So now we should be able to display it because we are in here as Ash. So when we say cat roots Pokemon, that gives us, it says Pikachu ! Ash. So this might be a password, this might be a username, or this just might be the answer to the next question. So let's see. It wants to know who is Root's favorite Pokemon. Let's see if that is Pikachu. Pika, CHU. Yes, no, maybe so. Okay, so it says that is correct. So we need the water type and the fire type Pokemon still. Okay, so let's go back here. And actually, let me just see if there is a hint for the, maybe the website has an answer. Okay, so if it says that the website has an answer, we're gonna go check the website files. So we're going to CD into, I think that the website files are in var, but let's just locate them. So we'll say locate www, and it tells us a lot of things. Oh, look, but it tells us that there is a water type file in the var www folder. And that is one of our, is that the one that we already have? Let me see. Oh, no, that's the next one. Okay, so we need that one. So we're going to CD into var www.html/, actually, we don't want to CD in there. We just want to display the contents of that file. So just say cat. And then I'm just getting this right here from above the line here, var www.html water-type.text. So after you type in WAT, you can just press the tab key and it'll just finish it off for you. And then you can display that. And it gives us what is not the water type. This looks like it's been rotated. So we're going to copy this and then put it into the clipboard. And then I'm going to go back to my internet connection outside of the VM and just open up another window. And we're going to type in, this is it's rotated in some way. So let's say rote decoder. And we can do this one in France. And you just paste what's in there. And the reason why I know that this is a rotation is just because it looks like letters and it's spaced appropriately. It just looks like the letters are off because the letters don't make sense. So ROT, which is a rotation cipher, is the first thing that I would check. So you'll say decrypt, and then it gives you a whole bunch of suggestions. And it happens to be that the first one, Squirtle, is the name of it's the name of a Pokemon. Okay, so we're going to put this in here, but we want to make sure that for the last part, we put the brackets in so that it fits the flag format. And then we'll see if that works. Okay, and that is correct. All right, so then now we need the fire type. Okay, all right, so does anyone have any questions about how we got that last guy, the Squirtle? I do not see any questions. Someone, Roberto, you can unmute yourself and ask whatever your question is. It says that your hand is raised. I'm not sure if your hand's raised from the last time. All right, so we need to go and find the last type, which is the fire type, and there are no hints in here. So we want to try to see if we can get into the root user. Okay, so the first thing I would try is to escalate privileges, is to try to say su-l. This sometimes works, sometimes it does not. Let's see. And it wants to know a password. And do we have a password? The last password I think we had was Pika Pika. Yes, no, maybe so. Authentication failure. Let's see. Ash, what is Ash's password? Does anybody write that down? I think it was Pika Pika. Let's try that again.
Yeah, Pika Pika, right? Yeah.
I think it was. Well, I'm going to type it up here this time. Pika Pika. And paste it. Press enter. Nope. Does not work. Authentication failure. So let's try su dash sudo dash su. And we can just right click it again because it still should be in there. Okay, and that actually worked. So SU worked. And SU just means switch user, and it takes you to a super user. I'm sorry, and it takes you to root. So we'll clear this out, and we're going to say who am I just to verify, and it should tell us that we're in here as root. Okay, so we need to, now that we're in here as root, we need to thank you, Emifa. All right, we need to find the fire Pokemon. All right, let's see. So we're going to do a search for the fire Pokemon, but we're going to do a search for the word fire, but we want to ignore the firewall and Firefox, which are two common things. So I'm going to paste into the chat window the command for you to use. It's also in the document, I think, but if not, I just paste it into the chat window, and we're going to do a search. You have to actually put it into the clipboard first. So this says, hey, I want you to do a search for the word fire. And the reason why we're looking for the word fire is because the last Pokemon is a fire type. So we're going to look for a fire in the file system, but we want to avoid any of the Firefox and the firewall things. Okay, so that's what the rest of this command means. This grep and then exclude Firefox and firewall. Okay, so that is going to hopefully narrow this down for us. So we're going to do the search, and first thing it pulls up is Frets on Fire game. A lot of Firewire things. We'll give this a couple minutes to complete. Let's see if we can find our fire Pokemon.
Hey, so technically, because it is coming up with Firewire, could we put another pipe behind firewall and include Firewire?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, we could. So we definitely could do that. So if you wanted to see what that looks like, you would just see where it says Firefox or firewall, just put another pipe and then say, also, we want to ignore everything that says Firewire. So we're going to run that, and hopefully it gives us less things to look at. All right, so if we look at these, we are specifically looking for a file that's probably called fire dash, what were they called? Fire Pokemon or something like that, .text. Oh, fire type .text. Okay, so we see here it says etc, why am I here, fire type -text. So this gets, we're going to check on there. CD slash fire, oh, it's the etc slash am I here? Say ls, and then we see a folder, a file, which is firetype.txt. And I just want to show you something real quick. So this file is owned by root. So the reason why when I looked at this earlier, when I came in here and I saw that it was as root, we had to escalate. So that's what why we try the sudo -l and the sudo su to see if we can use those to escalate once we're in the system as a user. And that's part of like the privilege escalation process is to, once you get a users, to try to escalate to see if you can get root. Okay, so then we're going to say cat fire, and then if we're lucky, this will not be encoded in any type of way. Excuse me. Fire type. Let's see what's in here. And of course it is encoded. All right, but this, what is this? This equals at the end is prime base64 behavior. So we can do this one or two ways. We can copy this and put it into the command line terminal, which I think I'm going to do because it's going to be quicker. So I'm just going to copy this. And then we're going to say echo, and then right click and say paste. So what this says, echo just says, hey, I want you to repeat back. I'm going to clear. All right, so then we're going to say echo, and then we're going to make sure that you actually have the thing that you're trying to get, which is the base64. And we're going to put that into the screen. We're going to say echo. So echo again says, okay, so hopefully it should be here. So echo and the base64. Let's try this again. So echo. I just want you guys to know that if it pastes that command again, all right, ls. All right, so we're going to display fire-type dot text. And then we're going to pipe that into base 64-D. And I hope that that should work. No such, oh, that's because it's not dire type, it's fire type. It still may not work. I may just have to take it over to the internet. Oh, okay. So Charmander, that sounds like a valid Pokemon. So we'll copy this, put it over here, hopefully copy this. And this is expiring soon, but I'm almost done. So we're going to submit. And then that's correct. And then you completed it. The last step is just to say you completed the room. And then you can share your room completion on the internet to show the world that you are awesome. All right, so any questions about any of the things that we did or why we did them? I will finish updating the rest of the instructions on the on the document. I think it stopped somewhere. Oh, around the gotta have it all, gotta catch them all. So stop there. So I will update the rest of these and put them onto the website so that in case you missed any of these steps. But any questions?
This is going to be on the. This video is going to be posted, right? The recording.
Yes. So this is on YouTube, but okay. It will. It's a 5-minute delay. So and then it has to process. So you can go to the page and it should be there, I guess, by tomorrow. But if you want it before then, just let me know, because I can go get the link for it and send it to you. But it'll be public by tomorrow.
Okay, thank you. Yes, I'm gonna review it tonight and practice it. So yeah.
Okay, cool. Any other questions, comments? So, and if you do not have a subscription to Try Hack Me and your thing is about to expire, what you can do is you can launch the a Kali terminal if you have it, like, and then download the VPN file to be able to continue this if you are still at a certain point. But like I said, the video replaying what I did is on YouTube, so you can go back and see what you might have missed. All right, so if there's no questions, I will let you guys go. We have Capture the Flag practice tomorrow, I think at 1 p.m. And then CH on Monday.
I have a question.
Sure.
So that VPN file, is that located on Kelly's website?
No, so it's a good question. It is on, when you log into Try Hack Me.
Yeah.
Let's see. Teams, no. Other?
I have a little question.
Sure. Let me see where I can find. You can ask your question while I'm looking for the VPN file. Was that Roberto? You can ask your question.
Yeah. Well, actually, when we are viewing these users from the Apache server, how do we know? Well, I have this question already, because how do we know this username and this is the password for the console? How do we know with this HTML source code? How can find it? Or how do you know that's the username and the password for the SSH?
Oh, okay. So anytime, one or two things that we typically see when you see like a default configuration for Apache, and you can tell that it's a default configuration because it just says Apache, hey, this is working. So, they haven't updated it at all. So, and you see that at the top of the page, right? So, like I said, the first thing I usually do when I'm doing a capture the flag is to see if they put any information either in the cookies for the page or if they put it into the HTML code itself. So in this case, when when you're looking in here, you see that it is two things tell me that this is not normal. Pokemon is not an actual HTML code. So all of the HTML tags in here, they actually start with a, let's say if it was like a div, and then they usually have like an end div. Like, so see right here, this is a beginning div tag, and this is an end div tag. Okay, so Pokemon is purple because it's a div tag, but Pokemon is not an HTML tag. So that to me says that this might be a username and password. Okay, so one of the first things that we did when we got in here was that we did a scan of the machine. And when we did the scan of the machine, we saw that there were two ports open. There was the SSH port, which is port 22. And then there was a HTML port, which had a website on it, which was on port 80. Okay, so the easiest for me, and I'm still like, let's call it medium level in this ethical hacking thing. The easiest thing for me is to try to do web type attacks. Okay, so that's why the first thing I'm always looking for is to see if there are vulnerabilities in the website itself. So like if we hadn't found this username and password, the next thing I probably would have went is to go do like a derb or like a GoBuster scan to see if there's any hidden directories which allow login. Okay, so in this case, like I said, the fact that this was in a tag and it's purple, that to me says that it's something we're looking for. And then also underneath it says, hey, check the console for an extra surprise. So this is clearly not typical, what's it called?
HTML. This is not like a default installation. Okay, so they updated this. Okay, so that's how we find the first one. And then once we find the first one, then we can get in there and then we could try to find the next one. So by finding the flags, and that's typically how capture the flag competitions are set up, is that, you know, once you find the first flag, then you can use that to find the next flag. So by having the username and password for a user on the account, then we were able to search the file directory and find another password, another username and password, which is for the user Ash. So having that username and password for Ash allowed us to open up another file, you know, and then when we found the third file, which was for the fire type Pokemon, that one required root. So like I said, the first things that I would do if I was trying to escalate privileges was I would check to see if sudo-l or sudo-su is working to try to escalate our privileges. Because once you have a user account of privileges, if the system is not configured appropriately, you shouldn't normally be able to sudo-su or sudo-l without a username and password, you know, without an admin password. So yeah, it booted me. But like I said, if you, and I need to go and find the, oh, here we go. So right here is the open, let me move this over, open VPN. So I clicked on this IP address up here, and then you can do this and then download your open VPN file. And then from the command line, you're going to say sudo apt install. But you want to do this from within your VM. So like if you are running a Kali machine, like so, then you want to go in here and go to try hack me into your web browser and download the file into here. And then on the command line, run the sudo open VPN. So you're doing that there and not on your actual operating system. So I was just running this on my machine because I was using the attack browser. But if you're going to do this from your VPN with the from your Kali machine, then you need to download the open VPN file. So you have to open up this try hack me page in Firefox here. But you, again, make sure that your Firefox is connected to the outside. So this is the backup. So check the settings and just change it from NAT network if it's set up for your home lab, and then change it to bridge adapter so it can use your network interface card. So does that answer your question?
Yeah, it does. Thank you. I appreciate it.
No problem.
Yeah, for me too.
Cool. Any other questions? All right. If not, I hope I will catch you guys at Capture the Flag practice tomorrow. I will see you in the Slack. Have a good one.
All right. Thank you. Bye.
Thanks, Tanisha. Good night.